Friends, the human soul is often described as the eternal, immaterial essence of a person, beyond the physical body and the mind. Across cultures and religions, the soul is seen as the core of one's identity, one's consciousness, and one's moral compass. It is what gives life its meaning, emotions their depth, and actions their ethical weight. In spiritual traditions, the soul is considered divine, timeless, and indestructible. Many believe it exists, before birth and continues after death, carrying the imprint of one's deeds and experiences. Philosophers and mystics have long debated its nature, whether it's a spark of the divine, a center of self-awareness, or a unique blend of thoughts, desires, and spirit. In a more metaphorical sense, the soul represents our inner world, our capacity for love, empathy, creativity, and connection. It is what we refer to when we speak of soulful music, soulful art, or acts of kindness. Nurturing the soul involves living authentically, acting with compassion, and seeking purpose beyond material gain. Whether viewed religiously, philosophically, or poetically, the soul remains one of the most profound concepts in human thought, reminding us of the depth, the dignity, and mystery of our existence. That said, fundamental theories in physics explain the behavior of particles of matter, energy, space, and time at this subatomic level. The human body too, is matter and energy in space and time. Fundamental particles that make up matter and the fundamental forces that govern the interactions are the same for human bodies function as they are for the universe to exist. That is a very profound way of explaining human systems. At the end of the day, we are part of the cosmos. Friends, while quantum mechanics describes the behavior of matter and energy on very small scales, it also introduces concepts such as wave-particle duality, superposition, and entanglement, and provides a probabilistic framework for understanding the behavior of particles at the quantum level. The question, however, is if Atma or the soul too is familiar or is similar to the behavior of the subatomic particles. Does the soul follow wave-particle duality, superposition, and entanglement? Atma is identical with Brahman, is beyond the limitations of time, space, and causality, similar to the journey of a subatomic particle to its formation into the universe of matter and energy. While the body and mind undergo change and transformation, the Atma remains unaffected, similar to the universe remaining unaffected, though the subatomic particles release energy and transform. Purusha, in Samkhya philosophy, a synonym for soul, is pure consciousness distinct from the material world and phenomena. It is the seer, it is the knower, and it is also the doer, and is devoid of attributes, similar to the role of the subatomic particles in the formation of the universe. Both are unaffected by the changes and fluctuations of the material world. That being so, can the manifestations, of the subatomic particles such as the quarks, leptons, bosons be similar to the manifestations of the Atma such as the Jivatma, Paramatma and Antaratma, Anandatma or even the Pretatma? While Jivatma is the individual soul and is bound by the cycle of birth and death and undergoes the process of reincarnation until it achieves liberation or moksha, Paramatma is the supreme self or the Brahman, while Antaratma is the inner self or the essence of consciousness of each individual. Anandatma is the blissful nature of the self. There are two more states of Atma, such as the Kshetrajna and Vibhuti. And they make the definition for soul very, very interesting. While Kshetrajna is the knower of the conscious entity within the body that perceives and experiences the world, Vibhuti is an expression of the divine self in the world that includes the diversity of life forms, the beauty of the nature, and the myriad experiences of existence. Now, while Kshetrajna is the Atma that witnesses the activities of the body, mind, and senses, Vibhuti or the self, Vibhuti of the self, in all brings is a key aspect of spiritual realization, or Vibhuti is a spiritual realization, similar to the Higgs boson or the God's particle. There are several similarities to particle behavior at the subatomic level and the behavior of the soul. Particles such as electrons and photons exhibit both wave-like, and particle-like properties depending on the experiential setup and observation. Consciousness and self-awareness too derive expressions of duality depending on the context, soul, being their manifestation. While the uncertainty principle of quantum mechanics imposes a probability in the precision with which certain pairs of physical properties such as position and momentum are simultaneously measured at the subatomic level, the soul and its manifestations too is uncertain in its behavior and hence grossly unmeasurable. While quantum systems exist in multiple states simultaneously, known as superposition, quantum tunneling is where particles pass through potential energy barriers that would be classically impenetrable. An electron can be in superposition of being both spin up and spin down until it is measured and then collapses into one of those states irrespective of the energy barriers. The behavior of the soul into one of these states is similar in its journey through Jivatma to Pretatma, one collapsing into the other irrespective of the energy barriers. Entanglement is where the quantum states, of two or more particles become correlated in such a way that state of one particle cannot be described independently of the state of the other particle, even when they are separated by large distances. The journey of the Jivatma, Paramatma, Antaratma, Anandatma and to Pretatma cannot be dissimilar. Probably using the wave function and probability theory of the quantum mechanics, one may attempt tracking Atma in its various states. Our Atma is multifaceted in nature and underscores the individual's relationship with the universe and the ultimate reality, similar to the subatomic particles. Through spiritual practice and self-realization, we can ride over the limitations of the individual self and merge with the Supreme Self, attaining liberation, similar to a great energy released and trapped in defining the universe by various subatomic particles, a fact which was observed in the Large Hadron Collider. Does rebirth or reincarnation exist? If the subatomic particles can transform into other particles as in particle physics, why can't a Pretatma take birth again in another form after death? However, the quality of the subsequent birth may be determined by the karma or actions accumulated in previous lives, similar to the way subatomic particles transform into other subatomic particles, always retaining the earlier properties. Friends, there is an intermediary state between death and rebirth, which is temporary and involves experiences such as reviewing one's life, resolving karmic debts, or awaiting the opportunity for a rebirth. The subatomic particles too, such as the mesons, baryons, or the leptons, exist in a state of flux until the energy redistributes to form newer and more stable particles. This process is infinite for the karmic life of a human being in as much as it is for the cosmos itself. Was the presentation a little heavy? Think about what I have said. Listen to it again and see how the human systems, human body and mind and soul are so similar to what happens at quantum level in particle physics. It is not at all difficult to understand. With that, friends, thank you, Dhanyavad and Namaskar, and with a promise to be back the next week with another episode.